Greetings, ASA members. Let's start with the national news. The Supreme Court booted the transgender case back to the Fourth Circuit. You will recall the Trump administration revoked the Dear Colleague guidance letter that the Obama administration had directed public schools to allow transgender students to use the bathrooms that align with their gender identity as opposed to their biological or cis identity. Now, the Fourth Circuit had used the Obama administration's guidance as the basis for their decision, siding with student Gavin Grimm. Now that the federal position has been reversed, the Supreme Court says the Fourth Circuit must reconsider. Now, this leaves local school boards totally without guidance. As Francisco Negron, the chief counsel of the National School Boards Association, puts it, regardless of what action they take, local school boards are liable to be sued by persons on both sides of the issue. Now, 14 states have protection for transgender students, and many other states have laws prohibiting such protections. Well, still other states have nothing on the books either way. It's a complete patchwork. So if your boards are considering taking direct action on this, my suggestion would be proceed with great care, because the law is in flux right now and there's no clear indication of what direction things might go. I've attached to this message a Washington Post article for those who wish further information. Also at the federal level, the new proposed Health Care Act, Ryan Care, may have significant impact on Medicaid funding, which many districts utilize for extensive resources. The American Health Care Act, AHCA, would transfer significant financial risk and responsibility to state budgets by cutting an estimated $880 billion, yes, that's billion, with a B, in federal Medicaid funding to states by 2026. Here are some key points. 45% of school-based Medicaid funding in Arizona comes from federal Medicaid funds. Arizona received over $27 million in federal funds for health-related service to access eligible children in 2015. Under AHCA, state elected officials may be forced to cut funding to schools that provide special education services to students with disabilities. That's right, just cut that Medicaid funding. At the state level, the legislature continues with action and inaction. And right now, the inaction is currently getting more attention, as the voucher bills are not moving. And many think the votes just aren't there in the Senate. They may not be there in the House, but if it goes down in the Senate, that's it. Secondly, no momentum has been seen yet in Governor Ducey's budget, a budget that contains several initiatives for education. Among them, the 4% raise for teachers, spread over 5 years, the $17 million to the school facilities boards for capital funding, a dribble, but at least a recognition that, hey, they might need capital. The enrollment reconciliation, remember this is the 2% hold harmless for those schools and districts that are in declining enrollment. And the rural broadband initiative, and that's $5 million, as well as funding of full day K for 90% free and reduced price lunch districts. It also contains results-based funding, the projections of which were sent by this office to superintendents about a week ago. Remember, that's the funding that schools with over 60% free lunch and in the top 10% in AZ merit would get $400 per student, and schools with less than 60% free lunch and in the top 10% in AZ merit would get $225 per student. And that's something that's not so exciting for ASA. Finally, A through F, yes, that's in the hearings mode right now. And the next 3 ad hoc meetings, once the hearings are finished, are March 27th April 10th and April 13th. With the final decision, there will be a final decision on Monday, April 24th at the State Board of Ed meeting. Now, some reminders. The TEL survey, that's teaching, empowering, leading, learning, will open April 3rd and will close May 1st. All the alphabets are sponsoring this survey, and we're hoping for 50,000 responses from educators. So that's educators as defined by teachers and administrators. Please respond to that survey. The ASA officers election started electronically on March 15th, and it will close on April 15th. So you need to vote by income tax day. And remember to vote before income tax day and do your taxes before income tax day. April 7th, the Higher Ed Conference. June 4th through 7th, the Institute for Excellence in Flagstaff. And Ready, Mindset Grow, the summer conference in Tucson, June 11th through 13th. That'll keep you busy.